Welcome back to Feature Highlights on PeepSo TV channel. I'm your host Sinisha, and in today's episode I'm gonna show you how to set up and manage your profile fields. This feature comes readily available in free version of PeepSo, so you don't have to install any additional plugins or purchase anything else. Just install the PeepSo and profile fields will be readily available for you. These profile fields will then display on the user profile, and they will be asked to complete them if you want. You can actually force your users to complete all the required fields. As you can see, this user have one required field missing, and this is simply because website over here in the validation option is set to be required. Let's change it to not be required, refresh the page, and now this warning is gone. But Diana has not completed her entire profile. So you can set all different kinds of options for the profiles, their validation, privacy, appearance, and you can even show them in registration. So when someone registers on your website, you will now see that this field is displayed in the registration form as well. So you can create unlimited number of profile fields, and you can create a set of questions that is basically unique for your website, and you can do all different kinds of good stuff with them. You can also force your users to complete the profile fields, and even use user limits plugin to limit the certain abilities of your users based on the profile fields. So let me show you how to set all of this up. To access the configuration for profile fields, go to your WordPress dashboard, then PeepSo Manage. Switch to the profile fields, and here you will find all of the default profile fields installed on your website. You can expand or collapse them all using these two options, or you can do it manually here. Add new field will simply add a new field, but more on that later. I am just going to trash it right now. So here are all the default profile fields that cannot be deleted the same way I just deleted the custom profile field that I added, but you can unpublish them and they won't be displayed. You see how the first name, for example, is now displayed. Let's go to my profile, about, and see the first name and last name is displayed. Let's disable them. Refresh the page, and now my first name and the last name is not displayed. But you may ask, it's displayed here. Why is that? Because this is the identification name. You cannot really hide this. Otherwise, imagine all of these users with just icons and avatars and no names. It will be crazy to even try to see who all of these people are or understand them. If you don't want to use the first name on your and the last name on your website, you can switch to usernames by going into PeepSo configuration and then appearance. And the first option over here will be the display name style. You can change it to username, save the settings, check the profile now. Now it makes sense that the first name and last name is disabled because we only using the usernames, right? I'm not going to do that for this video, but you can. So I'm just going to go back to manage and enable my profile fields so users can change their first and last name. You can rearrange your profile fields by simply clicking on them and dragging and dropping. So let's change the position of the first and last name and place it on the bottom. Let's refresh this page. And the first name and last name is displayed on the bottom, as we said. Let's put it back. Did you notice this little red star over here? That simply means this profile field is required. And in other words, profile fields that are required serve the specific purpose for some other options. And let me show you how that works. So I have this Diana user over here, and her profile is only 66% complete. So let's check her profile and go in the About section. You see that About Me and Website is missing. So her profile fields are not complete, right? But we want all of our users to complete the required fields. To do that, go back to the PeepSo configuration, and in the Accounts and Security, scroll all the way down until you find Force Profile Completion. Enable that option and save the settings. Now, whenever Diana tries to visit the website, she will be redirected to the About Me section, right? Let's disable this option really quickly. Save the settings. Now go back to her profile and try to move around on the website. You see, she is now able to go around along her merry way on the website, but her profile is not yet complete. Once again, to force her to complete the profile, we are going to enable this option over here, save the settings, and now when she tries to go anywhere in the community, if she tries to go on the third-party plugin page, like I don't know, maybe you have WooCommerce or other pages that are not PeepSo pages, she will be able to open those pages. But whenever she comes back to the community, she will be redirected to complete these two profile fields. So let's complete them really quickly. And I'm going to save that, and website is going to be peepso.com. Save the settings. Now her profile is complete and she can go around and start using the website. Since we are on the subject of restricting and forcing users to do something, there is one more option that you can kind of force users to complete their profile, but in a more subtle way, without redirecting them to any page or without interrupting their flow on the website. But for this to happen, you will need to purchase Ultimate Bundle. It doesn't matter, it is monthly, Ultimate Bundle itself, or 5 years license. You need to go with one of those options. Basic Bundle does not provide this option, and you can see it here. User Limits plugin is not available in the Basic. It's only available in Ultimate plans, regardless if it's monthly, 5 years, or standard Ultimate plan, right? And to set up these options, you will go to PeepSo configuration, then User Limits, and let's say I want to disable new posts for users that do not have at least 70% of their fields completed, right? So disable new posts based on the profile completeness require 70%. So let's save these settings over here. And I have an option here. I have a user here. Sorry, not an option. It's a user. which only has a profile field completed by 50%. He has birth date, about me, and website field missing. And if he tries to go to the community, you will now see that he is currently not allowed to create new posts, and he needs to complete the profile to at least 70% to add new posts. Okay, let's do just that. I'm going to go to my About Me section, edit my profile. Let's say I was born in 1980 by this date, save the settings, About Me, save the About Me settings, and now the profile is 83% complete, right? That is more than 70 that we required here in the configuration. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so let's see it here. Go back to the community. Now he can post, right? So let's say I want this to be by 100% limit. Save the settings. Bruce can now see the same message again. You can restrict basically anything with the user limits plugin, but that is the subject for the next video. In this one, I only wanted to show it. It's an option for the user limits plugin to restrict user actions based on the profile fields, because we talked about the profile fields. But in the future videos, I'm going to explain a user limits plugin and how you can set all of that up. But enough with the restrictions and limiting the users. So let's go back to the profile fields configuration and see how we can influence the registration flow even, and how to add and set up new profile fields. All right, let's expand them all, and you will, in the General tab, you will see that every field has an option for half width and show in registration. So let's show the first name and last name in the registration. And this is the standard registration that you get when you go to your site/register. Let's refresh this page because we enabled 2 additional fields, and now we have first and last name in the registration form as well. There's a good and bad side to this, because bad side is you want your registration to be effortless, to be short, because you only want your users to spend a less time on the hassle of registering user account, and more time on actually using the site. So increasing the form can actually deter some users from completing the registration. So be careful, don't publish too many. At least in my opinion, you shouldn't publish too many custom profile fields in the registration flow. On the other side, this is good against bot or spam members, because most of the spam scripts are created to only fill the username, email, and password. And if there's an additional fields to complete, the script will fail, and no spam users will ever be created, right? So there are your options. Be careful not to have too many of them, but you can show as many fields as you want in the registration. This half width option is only applied to the registration as well. So let's show it in the registration, and I want it to be half width. No, that's the wrong page. I need this one. you'll see right now how first name and last name is displayed. It's taking all the width, all the available width, but we now set it up to be half width, right? Let's close this. And when we refresh the page, it's just a little style, it's just styled a little bit better, okay? Let's disable half width and disable them in the registration, collapse it all. Now let's go over configuration options for the profile fields. As you can see, they all follow the similar structure, but not all of them are same. For example, in first and last name, there is no privacy option because it makes no sense for them to have privacy options. However, other fields have the privacy options and you can change all of them. But I'm going ahead of myself here. Let's start with general options for the field, and I'm going to focus on a gender field. You'll naturally be able to do that for all of the fields that you have, but to save time on this video, I'm going to show it for one field, and then you can apply it to all the other fields, right? So, enabled or disabled, I want this field to be enabled. And in the modern world, male and female gender is not really enough. So I can add another option and say, and call it other, right? So let me show this field in the registration and now see how that affects our registration page, right? It's showing a gender, male, female, and other. It's there. I can change the appearance of it. Currently, display is just a text, and that cannot be changed in this particular field. Like I said, fields are following the same structure, but not all of the options are the same for all of the fields. If you can play the display for the birth date, I can show the relative age for my birth date or show it as a date as a WordPress format, right? In the gender, it makes no sense for this option to show because there are two different kind of fields. So in the display is just a default text that is going to be displayed as male or female or whatever I choose in these options. Edit method is either drop down or chat list. You saw a chat list option here in the registration. This is the chat list. So let's change it to the drop down. Go to the registration, and now it's a drop down. It's not a chat list anymore. Likewise, in the profile, this change is also going to be reflected, right? So now it's a drop down. Let's change it back to the chat list. And if we try it now, refresh this page, edit the gender, and it's going to be a chat list. Okay, let's see what's in the privacy. Actually, you can also change the placeholder. Let's say, what is your gender? And the placeholder, because Ben Dunmer has the populated gender, placeholder is not showing. But if we go here in the registration, you will see the placeholder is basically on a description of a field. What does this field do and what it is expecting you to enter. The best example will probably be the website field or text field, just a text. So I can say show it in the registration, in the appearance, placeholder is going to be what is your website address. And let's go to the registration. Okay, you see how it's showing what is your website address as well. That's the placeholder. I can go and remove those placeholders. Yes, save and remove this one. Okay, now let's check our registration. Refresh the page and there will be no placeholders, right? Okay, let's collapse this one and switch to Privacy tab. Now in the Privacy tab, you can choose the default privacy for the field. Let's say it's going to be site members. And I'm going to reset users' privacy settings to default, which in this case is default privacy site members. Right now, why is my gender female? Right now, the privacy is public, but if I go into the field and change the default privacy to site members and reset users' privacy settings to default, refresh this page, now this field is available to site members only. User can still go and change it to friends or public, and it will be respected. But if I reset it one more time, it's going to be reverted back to site members. If you don't want users to change the privacy option, you can select disable user privacy setting, and now the privacy setting, once the page is refreshed, will be grayed out and user is not going to be able to change the privacy settings. They can still edit the field, but they cannot edit the privacy, right? Show a privacy warning. Let's see what does that do. Nothing, because we cannot change the privacy. So let's disable that option. Okay. Now with a disable user privacy settings, it's not in the effect. So user will be able to change the privacy. And the privacy warning is now going to be displayed, right? So when I edit this field, here's the privacy warning I was talking about. Okay, this simply means that this message over here is going to be displayed, notifying people about visibility of this field. So they are going to be set as male, and I'm going to show it to friends only, right? So I'm going to disable this privacy warning for my fields because it's self-explanatory. And similarly to the placeholder text in the appearance, you can change that privacy warning text over here as well. Validation tab for this specific field is only required or not required, right? But in the other fields, let's say in the About Me, for example, you can set the minimum length and maximum length of the field. In the website, in the validation, you only you can force the HTTPS links, and in birth date, which has the most interesting validation, you can allow minimum year or maximum year, for example. What this means is that minimum year allowed is going to be minus 100 years. So currently it's 2022, and if I try to edit my profile, it's only allowing me to go to 1922 because that is the minus 100 years. If I set to minus 50 years, for example, now the calendar is going to allow me to go only 50 years in the past, right? 72. I cannot go under that. So let's keep this to minus 100, or you can keep it to minus unlimited if it happens that you have people that are older than 100 years registered on your website. Okay, let's check it out. 1880 is quite a long period, right? So it's not really unlimited, but there is no way that you are going to have that all users. The maximum year allowed is a more interesting option. So if I say currently it's plus unlimited, but if I say go to minus 18, now you will see that my users can only choose. Let's refresh this page first. Edit the birth date. They can only choose the year up to 2004 because I have set up my website to not allow minors to be registered on website. Now, this is not a protection. Obviously, anyone will be able to choose whatever year they want. But if you want to kind of, if you have an adult website or a website that requires you to be of age, or particular age, you can set it up here in the validation, right, for the birth date field. So let's close all of this, and now we are going to add a completely new field. To do that, click on the Add New button, and there is a lot of different options that you can choose. In this case, I'm going to select single field and call it, let's say I have a teacher and student's website, and I'm going to say, what is your occupation? Save the setting. Okay, and now I'm going to give them the option for teacher or a student. Let's save the settings. Appearance, once again, I can change it to drop down or chat list, privacy, all the same options that I already went through, right? But this is a completely new field that is now going to be displayed in the profile. So what is your occupation? Pick only one. You see how you have this placeholder over there, and you can change that by changing the select one, for example. Save it. And now I changed the placeholder for my occupation. Okay, let's bring this all the way up. Privacy options are all the same, right? And validation. But in the general settings, now we have more options like searchable, only admin can edit, and only admin can see. So what is this searchable option is going to do? Let's enable it, right? Now it's enabled. Now, if I go to the members page and expand the filter, you will see now that I have a new searchable option here. Let's search for students, and no users have been found. If I go and change my profile to be student, save the settings. Now go to member search and search for student. It is finding me as a student, right? Okay, that's searchable option. And be advised, not all the fields can be searchable. Right now, the searchable fields are gender, as shown here, and all the select fields with hard options, like those options that are provided for users to choose. If you want to search for, I don't know, maybe text field, which has an open text input, let's go to the profile, about, and you see here in the text field how I can enter whatever free text I want and save the settings. If I go to the members, I cannot search for that particular field because it makes no sense, and it's not even giving me an option to be searchable, right? Because open values can be really open, while in the, so let's delete this field, while in the hard values, all of the users will have either teacher or student or whatever you choose to be, and then you can filter the users based on those hard values, right? All right. Only admin can edit simply means that once you populate this field, only admin can edit in the future, and only admin can see this field is going to be useful for admins to collect kind of information. I don't know, maybe you want to create a field where you are asking people, how did you, let's say, how did you find our website? Save the settings and then give the option over Google, over social media, or let's save this, or other. So this information is only, it's not going to be searchable. This information is only useful to admins. Me as a user, I don't really care how other users found my website, but as an admin, only I can see this field, so I can see how this particular user found out about my website, right? So, yep, that's how you set it up, the fields that only admin can see and edit, and how searchable fields are working. Okay. All of the other fields work in a very similar way. So if I add country field, for example, it is going to show me the list of all the countries. And similar options are available. Let's make it searchable. Appearance is going to be drop down. And you can put some countries on the top. And you can also disable some countries to not showing at all, right? You do that based on their ISO symbols, and you can find them all by clicking on this link over here and by simply adding this code for the country, these two letters over here. So if I don't want all of these countries to show, I will simply add them like this, and I will not be showing these countries, right? If I want to show them on the top, now US, Great Britain, and Germany is going to be displayed first. Let me check that. about, select your country, select an option, and United States, United Kingdom, and Germany as shown on the top, as we said it's going to be, and then all of the countries are displayed later. Okay, let's close this and close this. Email field is simply an email field that you want if you want to collect their emails or show emails. Date field is very similar to the birth date field. It has all the similar validations with minimum and maximum years. Let's add it. Yes, so you have options to choose all kind of different profile field sets that you are going to use on your website. And that concludes everything I prepared for you in this video. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and smash that bell notification icon to be notified whenever new video comes out. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We are there as well. Links will be in the description below. Until the next video, I wish you all the best with your website and have a great day. Bye!